Should you do organic versus Facebook ads? When you're starting, which way should you start? The truth is, it depends. And I think you should do both. And I'm going to explain to you in this video how to not lose a ton of money and actually make Facebook ads work for you, as well as some strategies for organic that work, and why I think that it's not a one or the other, but rather a both maybe thing, and how to make a good decision as far as when to run ads and what to do with your organic content to make it all work for you. For those of you who I've not met yet, my name is Jeremiah Krakowski, and for the last 21 years, I have been helping marketers, coaches, mentors, trainers. Yes, the industry existed 21 years ago. We used to sell DVD and CD products back then, and I've been helping them using content creation as well as marketing, advertising, and funnel strategies to scale businesses upwards to over $20 million per year in profit. And we've done so successfully during that time, and that's what I do is I bring kind of big concepts down to earth to make them simple for you. And that's what today's video is going to be all about. It's going to be kind of down to earth. It's going to be super simple and easy for you to understand. Here's the number one question you have to answer before you run Facebook ads, okay? How much money are you willing to lose? And you might say, well, I don't want to lose anything. Of course, who would want to run a campaign and lose money? But I need you to be a little bit realistic here, to think realistically, okay? Business is a risk. Just stepping outside your front door is a risk, in fact, and especially living in 2024, we don't know what's going to happen. Running Facebook ads, there is no guaranteed time, no matter how much success you have, no matter how many years of success or proof or track record you have, to guarantee that whenever you run an ad campaign that it's going to make money. And you might say, well, Jeremiah, that sounds easy for you to say. You've been doing it for 21 years. Of course, you make it sound so easy because you got a safety net to fall back on. You got so much experience, all that. What about the little guy? What about the rest of us that don't have any money to invest in ads? I understand because I was there before. But also here's the thing. I work with hundreds of people that are coaches, mentors, trainers, authors, speakers, incredibly talented, smart, wise, such amazing human beings. And I help them run Facebook ads that are just starting out, and they come to me to learn how to not lose money. And this is the first thing that I tell them. It's the first thing that if they can't get this, and by the way, I had a multimillionaire who literally couldn't get this. And we had to part ways because the idea of even losing $10 baffled him. That it was even like okay to do so, that it wasn't considered irresponsibility. Okay? So I need you to first address that. The only way for you to make paid advertising work is to have a set number that you're willing to lose. And you should never run a budget for your ads more than what you're willing to lose. So you've got to set a budget all the time when you run ads. Shouldn't be flippant. It should always be based off of if this campaign produced 0 result, would that be okay with me? And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't be running Facebook ads. Period. Simple. And you should focus on organic. However, I would challenge you to say this. How many of you have wasted $100 to interview for a job before? Why not then maybe invest $100 to $200 that you are willing to lose even if you don't get it, even if you don't get the result when running ads? And I want to challenge you in that thinking, that there are things that you do that you are willing to take a risk on because for some reason maybe you feel more confident in it, or things like this. And so this is, again, what I encourage people when it comes to Facebook ads. You got to find a number. For most people, I tell them that the beginning number should be right around $500 to $1,000. And this is maybe across a period of 1 to 2 months. Okay? So that's not a lot of money. And I think even in today's economy, you should be able to find this much, whether you got to sell some things, whether you got to scrounge it together, get it together, to be able to test a campaign, to test, not guess. Okay? Now you might be saying, well, Jeremiah, if I test it and I'm not guessing, then I should never lose money. Again, that thought process, that thinking is flawed to begin with. And it's one of the number one reasons why people fail and actually do lose money with a runaway bill when it comes to their Facebook ads. Is because they have this idea that at some moment in time, they're going to know everything that is to know when it comes to running ads. But the problem is that they're not accounting for human unpredictability. Human beings, you might be like, well, AI, Facebook ads, what? You know, human beings are not predictable. And this is actually a feature, not a bug in the system. It's actually part of our wiring that when things swing way too far in one direction, that human beings usually swing really far in another direction. We've had a surge of artificial intelligence over the last year. And in fact, most people don't realize this. The AI tools that we have today have actually been available for the last 3 years. I've been using them since March of 2021 in most of our businesses. However, AI doesn't work the way that it did 6 months ago. In fact, most AI-produced content doesn't work at all. Most AI-produced sales campaigns, as of today, not 6 months ago, but as of today, will not produce the result that you're looking for. Okay? Now, don't be upset by that. Realize it's all a part of human unpredictability. Human beings were very easy to persuade with AI 6 months ago. Now, they're not, because we don't want machines to control us. Pretty simple, right? We don't want machines to run our lives. How many of you do not want a machine to run your life? And yet at the same time, we have these little devices right here that basically run our life to a degree. But that's a topic for another time as far as that goes. So when it comes to running Facebook ads, no matter how much you know, no matter how much experience you have, when it also comes to organic content, when it comes to, and really it all boils down to one of these words that just everybody loves to hate, algorithms. By the way, you want to know what algorithms are? They're just artificial intelligence. That's all they are. It's the underlying AI of the platform that you're on. We're on these platforms here today where you're engaging, we're creating content, we're creating this training right here, and algorithms are what decide if you're going to actually see the content or not. It's deciding based on the behaviors that people take. And so if somebody watches your content longer, the algorithm says, okay, let's find more people like those people and show this content to them. Okay? When you run Facebook ads, it kind of works the same way, and you can train the Facebook ads algorithm to show your content to people that are more likely to buy from you. That's a little bit more advanced than what I want to talk about here today, and that's something that we actually go into in my private coaching community, the Client Growth Accelerator program. Again, I'm not going to give you a sales pitch here at all, but I just want to tell you, if you go to my website, jeremiahkrakowski.com, right here, you can jump on the waiting list for when we open the doors to my coaching program, where I actually work with you to develop your sales campaigns, your marketing, all of your funnels, your sales copy, and actually come alongside you to build your business. This is the program where we do that to help fast track you towards making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, and even taking that beyond to that 7-figure level. Okay, and so that's what this program is. You can go find the info over at my website over at jeremiahkrakowski.com. That's where we can dive really deep into how do you optimize all of this. It's a much more in-depth topic, and there's usually a lot of back and forth conversation that we got to have to make it all come together for you as far as that goes. It's not super hard to learn, but it does have some nuance to it that depends on what your unique individual business is, and that's where we come in to help you as far as that goes. For you to decide how much to spend, though, you got to make that decision. How much am I willing to lose? And really what we're looking at here is we are looking at algorithms that require one of two resources, either finances or time. Okay? And so organic content is going to take you time, investment. It might even take you 6 to 12 months to see your organic content start to gain traction. And even then, I know people who've been making daily organic content for 5 years and they're barely gaining traction with organic content. If that's the case for you, maybe you've been trying to make organic content, it might be that you're doing the wrong or old school way of doing things. By the way, a video like this, if you're watching this right now, I just want to give you like a behind the curtain look at what we're doing and what's working. Videos like this, it's kind of a long form video where I got a whiteboard and I'm doing a teaching that provides value to you. These on YouTube, as well as if you're watching this on Facebook, are what is producing and engaging the best type of content. As well as less is more. Less jump cuts, less fancy, less sizzle, more down to earth and authentic. Why? Because people don't want to be controlled by machines, algorithms, okay? People are resistant to algorithms controlling them. We have to keep that in our mind, in our mind's eye. And now the jig is up. People know that there's AI that's helping us create content. They know that the algorithms are driven by AI. They know that the content is made in a certain way that like super heavy, high dopamine hit just makes you feel like you're on drugs. I mean, how many of y'all have zoned out on social media scrolling for hours and hours and hours just to relax from anxiety? Okay? And so the problem is with that is becoming less and less effective. And so people are looking for a different form of connection, and the connection that they're looking for is authenticity. Okay? So authenticity is now what the algorithm is looking for. More down to earth, less polished, less fancy, more realistic, more legitimate looking and feeling as far as that goes, okay? So as far as organic content goes, you can take time investment. You will have to do manual outreach to people, such as if people engage with your content, you reach out to them, you can direct message them, you can see what they're up to. There are some ways to automate this, which are really kind of cool. And I think that it is okay to use some of those tools, but be cautious with some of them as well, because they can remove that human touch. And anytime that we remove the human touch, not only is it the algorithm, but it's actually people's brains. Okay, we're talking about biology here. People's brains are being wired differently based on algorithms. And they have, just like people might have drug resistance, there is AI algorithmic resistance that people have, where people become resistant after about 3 to 6 months to a certain way that the algorithm operates. That's why it seems like the algorithm is changing all the time. It's changing based on human behavior. Here's how you know the way that it's changing. What type of content do you personally engage with more? What type of content are you watching more of? Does that make sense? Okay. So because of this, we have to figure out how to get right in front of the right people in order to sell what we want to sell. And so you can either buy it, you can pay for it in the form of paid advertising, or you can take time to create content that feeds the algorithm what it wants. Now here's the thing, for most of us, what is natural and authentic for us often is not prioritized by the algorithm, especially if you're a coach, mentor, or trainer. Telling people what they're doing wrong is often our superpower, and yet it's not going to necessarily go out there to work well. You need to validate what people are looking for. You need to speak to what their desires are, and you need to actually deliver value in a way that feels different than everybody else that's out there. And this can be hard. And this is where most people give up. And this is why it becomes a grind for you to constantly be creating content. So there's really two ways that we grow our business. We can either purchase traffic. What is traffic? Traffic can be considered eyeballs. It can be considered people. It can be considered just people that are on the social media algorithm that are seeing your content. And you can actually purchase the ability to show your content in front of the right people. Now, here's the thing. This all sounds great, but how is this going to make you any money? It's not. In fact, that's where most people get it wrong, is they're only focused on this one part of the equation. They're not focused on how do I actually make money from it. And it's often because it challenges beliefs that we believe about ourselves, about our worthiness, and about what's possible, what we should do, what our best practices. And we got a whole bunch of noise inside of our brains that's trying to convince us that we should be doing things differently than what actually works. As well, if you've ever been sold by a sleazy, slimy, manipulative salesperson, you don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. You don't. I guarantee you don't, or you wouldn't be watching this video. The problem is this. For you to actually make money, you gotta sell something, okay? So for your time investment to be worth anything, or for your financial investment into Facebook advertising to be worth anything, you need to find a way to capitalize financially to produce a return monetarily from the efforts that you put into it. And maybe some of you, you're like, duh, of course. Why would I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't the case. Some people, they don't realize that just putting content out there is not a great way to make money. The monetization, the ads, and all of that on YouTube and Instagram and even Twitter, X, all these different platforms, they're not that great when it comes to actually making you finances, okay? So the best way to actually monetize your business is to have a product or service. And by the way, I'm not a big fan of doing a service-based business because now you're again trading dollars for hours. But sometimes in the beginning, you might need to do a service-based business. Sometimes in the beginning, you may need to do work for somebody in exchange for a return. And so the goal is you got to create what's called an offer. Okay? And this is where AI actually has a superpower, is it's really good at brainstorming offers. It's really good at helping you look at all the different scenarios and coming up with ideas, not answers. And that's key. I want you to realize this. AI is good at making and coming up with ideas to brainstorm, to inspire your own brain, not answers or solutions. Okay? Say that again, and I need you to own this one. AI is very, very good at brainstorming ideas and possibilities that inspire your own brain, but it's not good at actually creating solutions or final outcomes or things that you actually put out there, okay? And this might sound hard and difficult, but here's the thing. We used to do all of this for the last 21 years without AI, and it was a lot slower. And so now with AI, we can use it to brainstorm a lot of really cool stuff and save us literally years of time testing, wishing, hoping, wondering if things are going to work out. And that is a win-win for you if you're marketing, because you don't have to waste tens of thousands of dollars in advertising. When you're using AI to help you brainstorm, it can cut that way, way down for you by helping you analyze the results and put things together. And this is what I break down with my clients in my Client Growth Accelerator. This is part of what we spend every single week working with people on, is developing their offer, helping them put all of this together. We also have a library of courses that we've actually put together that help people do this. These are courses that I have taught that are only available to people in here. And one of the main courses that I love is the 6 Steps to 6 Figures as a Coach. It's the blueprint that I teach everybody when it comes to creating an effective offer. And whether you're a coach, a mentor, a trainer, a course creator, whether you're somebody who is just creating content and you want people to buy it from you, my niche mostly is people who write books, they do nonfiction, they create some sort of educational content. And so that's why it's called this. But this process really applies to any number of industries. And so number one, you have to pick your niche. What is the top number one topic or thing that you can help people with? And oftentimes we can become afraid of picking the wrong one. You want to learn how to be willing to pick something and then continue that process. Next, you have to learn how to write sales copy. Okay? And what is sales copy? It's a little off there, but that's okay. Sales copy is the words that you use to describe what your offer is. And this is where AI is very powerful at helping you come up with really, really good, unique words to do this. In fact, we spent years developing a system that does this. And what's awesome is that AI is trained on that system that we've actually developed. Okay? So you can actually come in there, type in what we've created, enter it into there, and then have the AI adjust and tweak it around our system that we've created, which is amazing, which is incredible. And there's very few people that can actually say that they've been able to do that. And that's why I think what sets us apart and makes us unique in what we teach when it comes to artificial intelligence. After this, when it comes to sales copy, is you got to put together the tech, okay? So this is your funnel. This is what captures people's info. These are your autoresponders. This is what's going to send the offer to people. And if you're lost in like what any of this is, let me explain this to you a little bit easier, okay? I'm going to flip this page here and I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, so number one, whether you're running organic content, right? This is like an Instagram reel right here. This is an Instagram reel, maybe a TikTok video, or you're running a paid ad campaign. This is a Facebook ad right here. So this is generally going to be some sort of video content. And if you're not comfortable on video, that's a skill set for you to grow into. And it's something that you can learn to grow into. One of the biggest questions you want to ask yourself is, why am I so afraid to be on camera? What do I think is going to happen? What am I trying to avoid? And oftentimes it answers questions to where we've let embarrassment come in to stop us from doing things that are healthy for us, that are going to help us, because we're afraid of what other people might think. That's an area that I love to coach my clients on. We work with you through your mindset in my coaching program. So out of this, what ends up happening is, whether they're coming from an organic piece of content or not, they get sent somewhere, and this is what's called a landing page. And a landing page can be built in any number of platforms. We got Stan Store, we got Kajabi, Thinkific, Squarespace, ClickFunnels, Go High Level, School, all these platforms. How many of y'all have seen ads for all these different platforms out there? Or even some of the white labeled ones from various influencers that are out there that are marketing their platforms. They usually got the term 360 at the end of them. Generally, they're usually a white labeled version of Go High Level if they have the term 360 at the end of it, usually. Okay? And so off of this, though, you're sending people from a piece of content to an offer page. And no matter what course you join, no matter what mentor you listen to, no matter who is teaching it, they're all going to tell you to send people to something that captures their email address, usually their name, and optionally their phone number. Okay? So this is contact information of people that are interested in the thing that you are selling. So we create an offer right here that then we send people from a paid ad to or organic content to, and then we get their contact information. Now, why would we want this contact information? This creates a really, really cool swirl of experience here. And when I'm saying swirl, I literally mean it's like a swirl, like this. It swirls around them where they end up kind of giving you their info right here. And then they end up, you can run an ad. Now that you have their info, you can run ads to that person for 1/20th of the cost. If you have somebody's contact info, the Facebook ads algorithm lets you run an ad to that person for generally 95% of a discount than if you don't have their contact information. Most people don't know that. And so what I love to do is get their contact info, and then I start running ads to the same person who I already got their contact info from at a major discount. Okay? Now I'm obviously trying to bring more people into this from running paid ads, but this is how we start to monetize it. This is what we call the nurture process. And so by nurturing the connection with people, we bring them through this swirl down to our cash flowing purchasing option. But oftentimes most people are not ready to buy simply because they opted in. So this is where we might send them an ad, and then they might get another email from us. We might make a video on YouTube. We send them an email about that video. They see another ad from us, and then they might see, oh, we got another Instagram reel. And what happens is they are now in your ecosystem. They have engaged with 6 different touch points right here. And what they found is right around 6 or 7 touch points is where you can validate that somebody is usually far more committed and more likely to become a purchasing client. So what we can do is we can actually tag this person right here. We can put a little tag on them algorithmically. And we can tell the algorithm, okay, this person is way more likely to buy from me than this person. So can you show my ad to people that are more like this person right here? Okay? And so then from here, what it is the algorithm starts tuning in. It starts getting more refined, more refined, more refined. We end up literally eliminating half of the funnel, the time, and the length of time. And this is where your ads cost starts to come down. Now, this often can take a few tests to do this. And this is why most people are like, well, if I didn't get results the first time I ran ads, bless God, I'm going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Kind of hate that term, but it's the best one I got. Because it didn't work. So what you got to realize is that that's not actually how it works. You're going to have to refine a few things along this process. And so let's go back to our 6 steps that I talked about. You develop out your niche, your sales copy, your tech. You start running your promotion. And by the way, this could be organic or paid traffic. And then you make a sales pitch of some kind. And this is the part that challenges most people mentally, is because they don't like selling. And they don't like feeling like they're taking money from people. They feel guilty asking for money from people. Let me ask you this. If you're providing value to somebody for something that they actually want, for something that is going to make their life better, and they can pay you a fee for it that helps provide for you and your family, don't you think that that's a win-win for everybody as far as that goes? I think everybody would say yes, of course. But the problem is that most of us don't think that what we have is actually good enough to put out there. Can I tell you this? That if you have even a little bit of a backbone in you and morals and integrity, what you're going to probably offer somebody right here is going to be 10 times better than what most lack of integrity business owners that are far more successful than you and are making way more money than you are making. And so the way I see it is this: I would rather pull business away from people that have a lack of integrity, that are manipulating people, that are sleazy, that are slimy, and not by doing anything that's unscrupulous or that I don't feel comfortable doing, but just because we're offering something better. And by simply me being me and showing up the way that I show up, I am automatically providing a better service to people by doing that. And so if you can trust that in yourself, you can have a lot more confidence when you come out there and sell. Here's the problem, though. This doesn't guarantee that you're going to make any money. We go back to what we talked about. How much are you willing to lose? Not all offers are going to make money. And if you think that you're going to find some method, system, coach, or mentor that's going to give you the magic bullet way that every single offer, every single time makes money, I'm sorry, that you're believing lies. Okay? And so I might be the first person who's out there that actually is going to tell you that that's not rooted in reality. And that might be a hard thing for you to hear, especially if you get drawn to and fro by this coach who's going to teach you this organic strategy and this mentor who's going to teach you this and this person who says, well, people who say that, they shouldn't. Listen, I'm not here to discredit anybody as far as that goes. I think there's a lot of great coaches and mentors out there, and they're helping a lot of people. But what I think is that sometimes we get tossed to and fro with way too many ideas instead of keeping it simple. Instead of making it very, very easy. And I think that there's way too much information out there now, especially because of AI, and a lot of it's low quality information that doesn't really help anybody. What does work is learning how to create an offer that is irresistible to people, that they feel drawn to, and then putting it out there and learning, how do I tune my ad campaign so that the right people show up? How do I adjust what I say in my organic content so that I can motivate people to actually register for the things that I talk about, so that I'm not wasting my time just flapping my jaws and talking about stuff and it's not actually effective? Here's the thing, a newsflash here. The only reason why I'm making a video training like this is because whenever I talk about this stuff, it turns into good financial returns for my business. And so if you want to work with somebody who's actually done it, has a proven system, again, like I said, I don't have an opening right now for coaching, but you can jump on my waiting list over at my website. After we go through this process, and listen, every single strategy, every single one, whether it be organic or paid, you have to create some kind of a landing page, some kind of an offer where people sign up for something with you, whether it be free or paid, and you have to learn the art of persuasion. You have to learn how to sell. You have to learn how to take people from being a stranger, right? Maybe this is the first time you've seen me ever. I'm a complete stranger to you. I don't expect you to even join my waiting list. You might think I'm a crackhead for even saying to join it. My last name is Krakowski. Either way. But how do you take a stranger and move them along a path to where the more interactions you have with them, you start building trust more and more and more. And by the way, as you do this, your ads cost starts to come down. The amount of money that you have to spend on ads to produce a result starts to come down. The amount of effort that you have to work starts to come down. I only work 10 to 15 hours a week in my entire 7-figure business. And a lot of the businesses that we've helped and we put together for people, they've been able to work 5 to 10 hours a week to make tens of millions of dollars. Whether you just want to make $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in a business, or you're just getting started, or you want to scale, you have to look at it from this perspective of going from being somebody who works in your business to working on your business and making it become not the all-consuming focus of your life, but rather something that you do that you could do if you rolled out of bed and you didn't have a bunch of stuff planned, and you could still show up and crush it and slay it. And let me tell you what I mean by that, okay? There's a way that you can actually tune your offer, tune your message, tune your ads to where you don't have to show up as much, to where you don't have to spend as much time being live with everybody, and yet you can still provide value. And here's what ends up happening is your value goes up. The amount of money you can charge increases. And by the way, it's not exorbitant. It's not overinflated to charge more money as this starts to go up. And what happens is it becomes a vortex that sucks people right into your ecosystem and gets them to buy from you. The better you get at doing one thing, the better all of it starts to come together. And that is connecting with people. Making a true, lasting connection. And connection happens through emotion and feeling and experience. There's an incredible book that I absolutely love by an author. His name's John Maxwell, called Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Communication is what we say out of our mouth. Everybody talks. My 1-year-old son talks. But connection goes much deeper to the heart of the matter. And that's what we are nurturing. We are nurturing the connection. We're clarifying the signal. How many of y'all remember back in the old days when cell phones weren't that good and you had to move around to clarify your connection? When it comes to you getting leads on the internet, oftentimes the signal is a little bit fuzzy. And so as you can start to clarify that connection, things start to become crystal clear. And what happens is a trickle of finances starts to turn into a tsunami of finances. And once that tsunami starts, it starts to snowball bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And things start to become easier for you. You start to make more money. But I'm going to tell you, in the beginning, it's not easy. It might actually be the single hardest thing you've ever done. And I might be making it sound like it's easy on a training like this. It's not. I'm not going to be somebody who's going to lie to you here. There's enough crappy coaches out there that'll do that. I don't need to do that. I've been doing this long enough to know it's hard. Building businesses is hard. But if you can learn a few strategies that can simplify things, they can change everything for you. And that's what we offer you in my Client Growth Accelerator program, okay? So listen, we host live events. I do videos like this all the time. Click the subscribe button or follow me to get notified anytime that I post live videos like this. Make sure to open your email and check out. We got a whole series of trainings coming up here very, very soon over the next month or so that I'm going to be teaching you and breaking down deeper these concepts as well. Here's what I want to know from you. In the comments below, let me know what other topics you'd love to see some videos on. And I will literally go ahead and make a couple trainings based on the most popular topics that come in, okay? I'm excited to do that with you, and I'm excited to work with you on this. Again, make sure to plug in. We got lots of different resources over at my website. We got a free ChatGPT prompt download right here. You can literally go grab some of the top prompts that we've used with ChatGPT. It's a Google Doc that I've actually put together with some of the very best prompts. Most people charge thousands of dollars for this information, and I'm giving it to you for free right here over at my website, as well as, again, the waiting list for the Client Growth Accelerator, my private elite coaching group. We'd love to see you in there, okay? Have a good one, everybody, and I hope that this helped you in some ways. I want to see you succeed. And I believe that if you start to learn some of the simple strategies that I've shown you here today about creating offers, and you actually start to put the pieces together, success is possible for you. Is it guaranteed for everybody? No. But if you're willing to do the work is willing to do the results for you. All right? I'll see you in our next video. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.